I was excited to talk about recruiting a little in general because I think, especially if you're early career, the recruiter might seem like a gatekeeper. I feel like so much of the language on LinkedIn is they're using an ATS to kick you out for keywords, and you got to get past the recruiter so you can get to the hiring manager. And on the one hand, it's true. Like, I have roles where we get 500 applicants and we're hiring one person, and we get 500 applicants in 3 days, and it's nuts. So, of course, there's a need for a gatekeeper because we can't have no one person can feasibly interview all of those folks. But I think a recruiter is more than that. I think that, like, recruiters that are good at their job, they're able to understand more broadly the company and the role they're hiring for. They care about the candidates that they work with. I know a lot of recruiters care really deeply about the candidates they hire and the ones that they don't, and they stay in touch with people throughout their career. So I think that recruiters, especially in tech, can bring some of the human to
Yeah.
these roles and to this process, and that a recruiter's really in your corner if you're a candidate, especially as you keep moving through the process. I'm a little biased because I work with one company. I only work with Bishop Fox. Like, when I hire somebody, I know their manager really well at this point, usually.
Mhm.
Like, I know their manager's like kids and their partner and their life outside of work. So I care really deeply about who's coming in, how it fits. But I don't think that's different for you, even though you work with a lot of companies. What does it look like?
Yeah, sometimes, because some people say to me it's harder being an internal recruiter. Some people say it's harder being agency side. Because I think sometimes if I think when you engage in a candidate, I think it can be easier agency side because if you've got loads of options, everyone will talk to you because they're like, it's going to have something good for me.
Yeah.
Whereas when you approach them, they know you're approaching them for one thing. So maybe that's I don't know. I think it can be different. Finding the right clients to work with is a massive thing to me. I think if the communication's right between the client and the agency recruiter, that's when it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got some clients where I think I mentioned to you off air. I think it was last week. We've had a client and they invited me into their Slack group, and
Mhm.
it was just brilliant because feedback was just like that. We made loads of hires. It was great last year, and then I've had other clients in the past, and I've almost stopped sending profiles to certain clients
Yeah.
because I don't hear back for 2 weeks. And if the candidate's in pain and I'm not going to hear back for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
it's not fair on me and it's not fair on them. So I think kind of communication's like massively, massively important. But it's a tough old job. And there is some, like there is in every industry, I think there's some less than desirable recruiters about. But I think if you've got long term ones that, like you said, I love representing a candidate for his or her whole career because then it's easier for them and easier for me as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, kind of a bit more of a long term approach, I think.
No, I love
So
that.
yeah,
I think that's the difference. I think it's easy to feel like you're getting spammed by recruiters, and maybe you are. And obviously, there's big gaps in quality, but I do think that at the end of the day, recruiters are there to pave the way in a really positive way. And it's like somebody sitting in your corner and they're working with you and they're negotiating with you and they want to see you succeed. So I think, like, building good relationships with your recruiters is not a bad thing to do.
no, definitely. I think when you find a good recruiter, just keep him or her on side. And I think as
Yeah.
well because me and you are so specialised, and we get. I don't know if you get this, but when I'm talking to pen testers, they're like, oh, thank God, someone that actually understands what we do.
Yeah.
And it is. It's nice to hear that. I got taught really early on. Probably you're the same, but just get really specialised and niche down because
Yeah.
you get to know everyone, don't you?